If you think all the land near Disney has already turned into tourist zones, Claremont may change how you look at this entire side of Central Florida. A massive planned growth area is taking shape west of Disney. Wellness Way is already underway. Olympus has been part of the long-term vision for this corridor, and Panther Run is another major piece buyers are starting to hear about. New roads, new communities, future commercial space, and long-range planning could create a market that feels very different from the Claremont people knew even a few years ago. But your strategy should not be the same if you're moving in 3 months, 6 months, or 2 years. That timing matters. A buyer who needs a house this fall has a completely different job than someone researching a future relocation. The risk is treating those searches like they're the same. They're not. If you're moving soon, you need real inventory. A 6-month timeline puts builder releases, construction progress, financing, and school timing into the conversation. And when your move is still 1 to 2 years away, the bigger question becomes where the growth is heading and whether this side of Claremont belongs on your radar before the area feels obvious to everyone else. I'm Leslie Ortego with eXp Realty, and I help families relocate to Central Florida near Disney World. My family relocated here too, so I know how easy it is to start with Disney proximity and then realize the real decision is about schools, commute, budget, daily routine, and what kind of life you want once that vacation feeling wears off. Claremont has always been a part of that conversation, but this newer growth corridor gives buyers another layer to understand. Now, before I go any further, I want to be careful with how I say this. I cannot promise what home values will do. No one can guarantee appreciation, and you should be cautious with anyone who speaks about future pricing like it's automatic. But what I can say is that large-scale growth, infrastructure planning, road connections, future commercial activity, and new residential development are all the kind of factors I would want to understand early if I were planning a move near Disney. And that's the lens for this video. Not hype, not a promise, a practical look at how your timing changes the way you should evaluate Claremont, Wellness Way, Olympus, Panther Run, and the surrounding west side growth. Let's start with the buyer who's moving in the next 3 months. If that's you, the future is interesting, but your decision has to be grounded in what exists right now. You don't have the luxury of building your entire plan around a road that's not even open yet, a retail center that's not finished, or a community that's still mostly dirt. For instance, today, there are only 3 major roads that connect Lake County, Claremont, to Orange County, Disney. Now, that does not mean that you should ignore what's coming. It means future growth should support your decision, not carry it. For a 3-month buyer, I would start with available homes, realistic closing timelines, lender readiness, insurance, HOA or CDD cost, school zoning today, and the commute that you would actually have on move-in day. So know that roads may be somewhat congested for the rest of 2026, and that last part matters. If you're relocating from another state, it's easy to hear near Disney and assume the entire west side works the same way. It does not. Claremont, Horizon West, Winter Garden, Windermere, and the surrounding communities can feel very different once you're driving around in a normal life. A home may look close enough on a map, but your daily routine could tell a different story. For a family moving in the next 3 months, the question is not, what will this area look like someday? A better starting point is, can I live well here now, the week after I move in? That means grocery stores, the school, work commute, school practices, doctor's appointments, airport access, and your normal errands need to feel realistic now. Future growth may make the area more attractive over time, but it will not help you on that first Monday morning after closing. And this is where Claremont can be appealing and challenging at the same time. You may find more space or a different value equation than some of the areas closer to Disney. At the same time, you have to decide whether the current roads, current amenities, and current commute fit your household today. The home cannot be judged only by what the corridor might become. It has to work before the next phase is finished. If you're moving in the next 3 months and looking at new construction, I would also be very careful with builder timelines. A home that's almost done may still have inspections, final work, financing steps, closing details, and possible delays. Now, that doesn't mean that you should avoid it. It means your timing needs to be honest. If your lease is ending, your job start date is set, your kids need to enroll in school, or your moving truck is already on the calendar, the timeline has to be more than just optimistic. I would rather see you choose a home that fits your actual move than build your entire plan around a best-case construction scenario. For 3-month buyers, completed inventory or homes very close to completion may be more realistic than early phase opportunities. And resale homes can also make sense, especially when you need certainty, established surroundings, and fewer unknowns before you arrive. And that's not as exciting as buying into the earliest stage of a big new growth area, but it may be a smarter fit when your calendar is tight. Now, if your move is about 6 months away, the strategy changes. Not only will there be 3 new roads to connect Claremont to Disney, you'll also have enough time to watch builder releases, compare communities, and understand how new construction timelines might line up with your relocation. You still cannot treat future plans like they're already finished, but you have more room to evaluate what is actively taking shape. And this is where Wellness Way becomes more relevant, especially with the connector road from Wellness Way to New Independence. Wellness Way is designed as a growth corridor in Claremont, with a focus on development tied to jobs, health, science, medicine, innovation, housing, and supporting commercial activity. Now, that doesn't mean that every piece is complete. It does mean that the area is not just a random patch of land west of Disney. There is a larger framework behind the growth. A 6-month buyer should pay attention to which communities are open now, which builders are releasing homes, where infrastructure work is happening, and whether the current phase lines up with the life you want after closing. This is also the stage where I would compare Claremont against Horizon West and Winter Garden very carefully. If you love the west side of Disney but feel priced out of the exact areas you originally searched, Claremont may become a valid part of the conversation. That doesn't mean that Claremont is automatically the better choice. It means there's a trade-off that deserves a real look. You may gain home size, newer construction opportunities, or long-term growth potential. The exchange could be a different commute, a community that's still developing, or a daily routine that depends heavily on which part of Claremont that you choose. A 6-month timeline also gives you time to ask better builder questions. Which lots are available now? What phases are coming next? How firm are the estimated completion dates? Which fees are tied to the community? How will the existing and future surrounding roads function when more homes are occupied? Does the school zoning match what your family is researching? Are you buying into a full-time residential area, a mixed-use growth corridor, or something closer to a vacation-driven community? Now, you don't need every answer on day one, but you do need enough answers before your emotions choose the house for you. Olympus is another part of this conversation. It has been described as a major sports, wellness, lifestyle, residential, commercial, and entertainment-focused development in the Wellness Way corridor. For buyers, the important part is not memorizing every proposed feature. The useful question is how a development like that could change the way this side of Claremont functions over time. More amenities can make the area feel less dependent on driving east for everything. New commercial activity could change weekend routines, dining options, daily errands, and the way people think about living west of Disney. Planned growth can also bring construction, traffic shifts, and a period where the promise of the area arrives unevenly. That middle stage is where buyers need realistic expectations. A 6-month buyer may be close enough to benefit from early growth, but still early enough to live through some of the mess. And that's not a reason to panic, it's a reason to look carefully. The community you choose should work during the build-out, not only after the ribbon cutting. Panther Run adds another layer because it shows how much land is still in play in this corridor. The larger point is simple. Not everything near Disney has already been built into the version of Central Florida that you see today. A major land purchase or master plan proposal does not mean you should rush into anything. It does mean the west side deserves attention if your timeline gives you room to evaluate what is forming. For 6-month buyers, I would treat Panther Run and similar future projects as context, not as the whole decision. You still need a house, a neighborhood, a school plan, a commute, and a monthly payment that makes sense when you move. Now let's talk about the buyer who is 12 to 24 months away. This is where the conversation gets more strategic. A lot of relocation buyers start watching content long before they're ready to buy, and this is actually really smart. If you're 1 to 2 years out, your job is not to pick the exact house yet. Your job is to understand the map before prices, phases, roads, and community options feel urgent. This is the stage where you want to learn the difference between Claremont, Horizon West, Winter Garden, Windermere, and the areas closer to the tourist corridor. You want to know where full-time families are living, where short-term rentals are common, where schools are part of the draw, and where new construction is changing the landscape. Wellness Way should be on your radar if you're watching long-term growth west of Disney. The area has been positioned around health, wellness, innovation, residential development, commercial use, and better local employment opportunities. And while some pieces are already underway, other parts are still developing, proposed, or subject timelines that should be verified before you make the decisions around them. That distinction matters. Long-term buyers can pay attention early without pretending the future is guaranteed. This is also the group that may benefit most from understanding road connections. When new roads open or existing routes improve, the mental map of the area can change. And that's coming with the new roads at Sawgrass Bay, Wellness Way, and new State Road 516. A place that once felt too disconnected may start to feel more practical. Another community may become more attractive because access improves. Traffic patterns may shift as more residents move in. Road timing needs to be verified with current local sources, especially if you're hearing estimates tied to 2027 or later. Still, infrastructure is one of the reasons long-term buyers should pay attention before the area is fully built out. By the time everything feels obvious, you may have fewer early options. And that doesn't mean that you missed your chance. It means the decision gets different. A 12 to 24 month buyer should be building a watch list, not just homes, areas, builders, road projects, school zoning conversations, community rules, retail and healthcare development, commute patterns, resale competition, local concerns from current residents. And that last piece matters because every growth story has tension. New development can bring more housing, more services, more options, and more attention to an area. But it can also bring construction, traffic, school capacity concerns, infrastructure pressure, and a period where the daily experience feels unfinished. If you're researching from out of state, do not only listen to the marketing version. Pay attention to how the area actually feels and how current residents talk about the changes. That doesn't mean you should avoid growth areas. It means that you should understand what stage of growth you're comfortable living in. Some people love being early. They like watching an area form, choosing newer housing, and getting into a corridor before it feels fully established. Other buyers want finished amenities, predictable traffic, mature landscaping, and a neighborhood that already feels settled. And neither mindset is wrong. The mistake is choosing one while expecting the other. If you're 12 to 24 months out, your biggest advantage is time. You can watch which builders enter the corridor. You can compare Claremont's growth against the higher demand areas closer to Disney. Your family can visit at different times of day, not just on a weekend trip. School research can happen slowly instead of in a panic. And budget expectations can adjust before you start touring seriously. And this is why I like this timeline for buyers. It gives you room to think. It also gives you the time to separate excitement from fit. A massive planned area can sound exciting, especially when you hear names like Wellness Way, Olympus, and Panther Run. The more useful question is whether the timing, lifestyle, commute, school picture, and housing options line up with the life that you want. Now, I want to bring this back to the bigger Claremont decision. Claremont is not just one thing. There's also the Claremont that's established with hills and lakes, local restaurants, older neighborhoods, and a very different feel from the newer growth areas. Then you have the southern and southeastern growth patterns connected to the Wellness Way, new construction, and future of the corridor west of Disney. A buyer who says, "I want Claremont," may be talking about completely different lifestyles depending on which part they mean. That's why I would not compare Claremont only by distance to Disney. Distance is part of the decision, but daily life matters more. A home that feels farther from the parks may actually work beautifully if your week flows better there. Another home may sit closer to Disney but create stress because of the traffic, school zoning, fees, rental rules, or commute do not match your life. This is where relocation buyers need guidance. Online searches can show you the house. It rarely explains the routine attached to it. For the 3-month buyer, Claremont needs to work now. For the 6-month buyer, timing and builder strategy becomes more important. And for the 1 to 2 year buyer, the smartest move is watching how the corridor develops before you decide where your family fits. Same market, different strategy. And that's the whole point. If you're looking at Claremont because you want more space, newer construction, or a different value equation near Disney, the area is worth understanding. If you're looking at Claremont because you heard something big is coming, slow down enough to separate confirmed progress from future possibility. And if you're looking at Claremont because you want to live near Disney without feeling like you live in a tourist corridor, pay close attention to which communities are designed for full-time residents and which ones may serve a different kind of buyer. That distinction can save you a lot of frustration. Before you decide whether Claremont belongs on your list, figure out your timeline first. 3 months means practical inventory. 6 months means active planning. 12 to 24 months gives you a chance to study the growth before you're forced to make fast decisions. That one shift can make the entire search feel less overwhelming. If you're relocating near Disney and Claremont is even a maybe for you, I would rather you understand this area early than discover it after you've already narrowed down your search too far. You can book a call with me using the link below, and we can talk through whether Claremont, Horizon West, Winter Garden, Windermere, or another Disney area community fits the timeline your family is actually working with.